Good morning, everybody. How are you? I hope you're well. Don't know about you, I've been feeling a bit emotional the last couple of days. I feel this morning filled with love. I feel the emotion of, I woke up just saying thank you over and over again. We talk about doing our grateful lists, and sometimes I find that can be quite staid. It's very useful to do, but it doesn't often touch my heart with the actual level of gratitude to feel it. It becomes words, but it doesn't necessarily hit in my heart. And I lay in bed this morning just like a mantra, just saying thank you, thank you, thank you. And as I did it, I was filled with more gratitude for everything, even for my challenging circumstances, everything that's brought me to this point, and therefore so much more full of love for everything that is in my life. And I then read, there's a lovely lady that whose newsletters I get, and she was mentioning John Lennon's song Imagine, and I printed it out, and I thought, during this month as we move towards the holiday season, and everyone is wondering what they're going to do, and it brought to mind that every year over the last however many years I can remember, I have heard so many people say to me, oh, I hate this season. Oh, I've got to go and do this, and I've got to do the shopping, and I've got to do this. And they're rushed and they're stressed, and they say that they're getting into debt because they're buying too many gifts. I deal with energy, and if you buy a gift filled with resentment and dislike, then that is actually the gift you're giving. If you're rushing, people are exhausted, and they used to come back to work saying, oh God, thank God that's over. So we talk about it as a time of joy, and yet I've heard so many people say they don't enjoy it. So that's maybe something to think about. And I know I've got to the point, I've said to my friends, I want what I would like when they've asked. I would like you. I'd like your time. Just to have a chat, to see each other like this, to have a giggle, to toast each other, and maybe even eat, to have a dinner together on Zoom if we can't see each other. Because I've just so come to realise the preciousness of that when you're not around people. And there are those that don't want that, and that's fine. There are those that don't respond. There are those family that don't wish to talk, and that's okay. But the love and the offer is always there. And I was just reading the words of the song, and it really brought tears to my eyes, because I think this is a time for envisaging the world we want, not going back to something, the world we want going forward. And for me, imagine all the people living for today. So in the present, imagine there's no countries, so no borders. It isn't hard to do. If we just visualize it, we can create it. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. Wow. Just sitting for a moment, imagining that. We talk about wanting world peace, and I've done posts and asking people what they wish for, and hundreds said they want peace. And if we want that, what is the next step after wishing it? Do we then go and have an argument with someone? Do we deny our own needs? Do we people please to the point where we're living in such resentment? And we don't, or when we do burst, we say it with anger and hatred and dislike. You may say I'm a dreamer. Yeah, I am. But I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us and the world will be as one. Imagine no possessions. And that brought to mind, yes, it's lovely to have what we have, and some things are precious, but I see so many things discarded after Christmas. I walk around the shops and so much tat really, and we buy things that nobody wants and they go in a boot sale in January or in the bin, and again we're producing all this stuff. I don't mean to sound preachy, sorry, but this is just what was coming up this morning, and I'll look to the cards in a second of what come up because it just seems to resonate. Imagine no possessions, I wonder if you can, no need for greed or hunger, a brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. And I'd say a sisterhood of woman as well. A brotherhood of man and a sisterhood of woman. This was written in a different time, but imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us in the world we live as one. And I just thought, what a wonderful vision to hold as we especially move towards the amazing astrological things that are happening. And I'll leave you to look those up if that's something that you're interested in. Look up what's happening on the solstice. Something that's, I even read something with 2 planets coming together, and I'm not going to go into the details because that might not be what you're interested in. But they said we're going to actually see the star of Christmas. So I thought that was just a wonderful way. So go look at that if you want to. There's so many brilliant astrologies out there, and find what's right for you. But the cards I pulled this morning seem to sit with very much this month. The first one, the void. Sitting with just being, sitting with the nothingness. Retreat, rest and pause. And that brings me back to this thing about everyone rushing everywhere, when I feel such a pull at the moment for people to sit and be quiet. And obviously you have to do what your heart guides you to do. But if you're feeling the need to just be out in nature, I will be out Christmas morning, as always, out in nature, being with the world, resting, pausing, stopping from the crazy activity. And it's interesting that the next one, Mother Earth, for me, perfect. Being out in Mother Earth, but it's grounding and support. Being out in the fresh air, grounding ourselves, having your feet walking on the earth, being out there. If you're brave enough, maybe warm where you are, putting your feet on the ground, connecting with the planet that gives us life. And if we don't, this is our home. I heard the point this morning that if we don't look after, there's only such a small amount of topsoil. And if we don't look after this, it won't sustain food, it won't sustain life. Such a fragile environment that has been so neglected. So I feel for this is about not neglecting ourselves, not neglecting any part of ourselves. Because interestingly, the third card I pulled was the inner child. Hear and know me. Isn't that a beautiful picture? The inner child. What part of you is crying out to be nurtured, to be looked after at the moment? Do you need to rest more? Do you need to not be rushing around? Just leaving that for a minute. If you can, I know we have commitments, and I know that, this isn't about being naive. We all have things to do. We're all pulled in many, many different directions. So it's where we snatch those bits for ourselves, or put those into our diary, those bits of time. Sometimes it only takes a few minutes. With the laughter yoga that I've started to teach, we're talking about a few minutes, but my goodness, the impact has been amazing. And the last card I pulled, I don't think this is about being religious. It just says, it's the picture, it says give it to God. But I like the picture of letting it go. Just let it go. Practice that, all that pent-up emotion, breathe. And that's a lovely visualization to use. Imagine all your feelings, pent-up feelings, filling the balloons. When we breathe, when you breathe for yoga, for the laughter yoga, we talk about filling our bellies with air like it's a balloon, holding it for a minute and then let it go. So how about practicing that? Letting it go. Breathing it in, holding, putting every emotion that you don't want anymore, all that stress, and then just let it go. Just let it go. So I know I've gone on longer today, but there seemed to be a lot that was coming through. I was channeling through today, so I hope those messages help you, and I wish you all a wonderful day. So please take care of yourselves. Be well. I'll see you soon.